Oh, I know who I was thinking. I had Dean Cain on my show. Do you know who Dean Cain is?
Sure, Superman.
Superman, and who used to be a football player.
Right.
And so we were discussing our favorite football players, and I was telling him, oh, this was about 3-4 years ago. I said, oh, my favorite player is Alvin Kamara. So then he tells me, go on YouTube and watch the types of trainings he does to develop those movements. And as a big fitness guy, just go watch it.
There's a lot of plyometrics.
A lot of plyometrics, a lot of stuff where, you know, they throw a ball and he's standing on a balancing ball. What is that called? The platform. And he's trying to catch balls that they're throwing. I mean, I would have a hard time just staying on that damn thing. There you go.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
That's exactly his trainer. You have to see what this guy makes him do. It's unbelievable. He's like a ballerina.
Well, that makes sense that he would be so agile and mobile because he's doing all these different things.
Look at his body.
You can't just like do squats. You know, if you want to be an amazing athlete, you have to do a bunch of different things. Oh, this is cool. Oh, a lot of explosions left and right.
He's look at this.
Wow. That's crazy. Hopping back and forth on ball to ball with balance on one leg.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought it. Thank you, Jamie.
It does make sense, though, that you need to develop all this stuff. If you want to look at that, he's got
that's it. Look at his stuff. Look at his stuff.
Crazy.
He's got to stick with the right ball, standing on one foot.
I bet he has insane balance.
Look at those legs.
That balance is insane. That thing is so hard to stand on anyway.
Yeah.
Especially with one leg.
It's exciting that I shared something with you who's like this huge fitness expert that you didn't know. Cool.
Yeah, I've seen people do similar types of workouts, but that's very impressive.
Yeah.
That kind of, I mean, it just makes sense that if you want to separate yourself from everybody else, like what do you need to do to separate yourself? Like elite balance, elite. There's this guy Arman Sarukian who was supposed to be fighting Islam Makhachev for the world lightweight UFC title, but he hurt his back literally like the day before the weigh-ins. It's probably because of the severe weight cut. He cuts a lot of weight. He's very muscular. But one of the things that this guy does that's really extraordinary, they put out his workout. He does these incredible mobility exercises. Like he's insanely flexible. He's like jacked, like super muscular, but like ridiculously mobile and pliable.
Wow.
And he's doing, see if you can find his workout routine. He does all these crazy exercises where they're like twisting him in weird positions, and it's very unusual for a guy that's that strong to be that agile and mobile.
Do you have a lot of flexibility?
Yeah, but that's just because I started when I was a really young kid. I started in martial arts, and I was stretching from the time I was developing.
I genuinely believe that my muscles are made of glass.
No, that's all horseshit. See if you can find he does a lot of this stuff. Like look at these twisting motions. He does a lot of like weird mobility stuff, like hip mobility. Like look at all this.
Wow.
It's all so he's pulling on a cable machine and like look how flexible he is.
Wow.
It's nuts. And this is like a core part of his training that is very different than a lot of other people's training. Like, look at
my goodness.
his ability to stand on his head like that and move his whole body around in a circle.
What the hell?
Incredibly agile.
So this is not something that every person...
No, this is super unusual. I mean, there's some wrestlers that do... This kind of stuff is pretty common. I do these. But he's like it's a core part of his training. Is his physicality. His physicality is very... This is him with Khamzat Chimaev, who's one of the top middleweight contenders, one of the absolute best fighters in the world. And, he's giving him a run for it.
Wow.
They're really good. I mean, watching him roll... Like, Khamzat rolls through everybody, and he's having a hard time controlling this guy. And this guy fights 2 weight classes below him. That's how good he is.
The blue guy is the smaller guy.
The blue guy's much smaller.
Yeah, okay.
So Khamzat is he's a 185-pound guy, and at one point he fought at 170, but he was cutting a shitload of weight. But even at 185, he's next in line for the title, and this kid's fighting at 155.
Right.
So he's quite a bit smaller, and still giving him, he's not allowing Khamzat to run him over, which is very impressive.
Wow. So what's the trajectory of MMA next? Is it all turn it into an Olympic sport?
I hope so. I hope MMA becomes an Olympic sport. It should.
Is that on the agenda?
I know they've pushed for it.
Okay.
It should be. I know there's combat sports obviously in the Olympics, boxing and judo in particular, and taekwondo now as well.
And you've got the Australian breakdancer too.
That one was amazing.
Do you think that was a troll or was real?
I think that was hubris. I think that was a person who didn't think they were going to get scrutinized, who used their position of influence to acquire
a PhD in this stuff she has. Yeah.
But also, there's like legit breakdancers in Australia. If you Google Australian breakdancers, there's people that are legit. I love breakdancing. Yeah. I love watching it. Yeah. It's so impressive.
Like the locking and all that stuff?
No, the physical moves.
Okay.
All the when they do a flip and land on one leg and then flip back the other way.
Okay.
There's a couple of guys, Richie and Gio Martinez, that are black belts under 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and they started out their career as breakdancing, and they were so hard to hold on to, and they were so mobile and so agile that Eddie started incorporating like breakdancing into his training, like learning breakdance techniques. Because it's just basically a kind of gymnastics,
right?
You know, and a lot of these guys, they can stand on one arm and spin around in a circle with their feet in like a lotus position. Like it's bananas.
Isn't there a Brazilian self-defense or an Israeli self-defense?
Capoeira?
Yeah, capoeira. That's right.
Capoeira. But capoeira was like a dance that the slaves had created that they were disguising a martial art in a dance. Allegedly, I'm not an expert in capoeira, but a lot of the capoeira moves they dance, but they're dancing into wheel kicks. They're dancing into like tornado kicks. Like these are weapons,
right?
Like they're techniques, but you could pretend that it's just a dance,
right?
But it's kind of
so the origin is a slavery thing. Okay.
I might be wrong about that. I don't think I am. I think that's one of the things that they did was they hid it. They hid their martial art in dance.